Hey folks, welcome back to another video. If you receive customer comments, survey responses or feedback in Google Sheets, you know how hard it is to make sense of it at scale. Manually reading and categorizing hundreds of rows for sentiment is slow, inconsistent and frankly not very fun. What if you could automatically tag each comment as positive, negative or neutral in seconds with accuracy? In this video, I'll be showing you how to do just that using SheetGo's AI data processor. So let's get started. Use case that we're going to be taking a look at is the automatic sentiment analysis on customer feedback. So this is the Google Sheet that I have here that has the ticket IDs and the customer feedback, and I would like to generate a customer feedback column that contains and classifies all of these feedbacks into either positive, negative or neutral. So the first step would be to head to SheetGo, and you can get started with the link in the description. Once you are inside of the SheetGo interface, you just go ahead and click on New and click on Blank Workflow. Now SheetGo provides you a couple of different ways in which you can get started with your workflows. One is to type your workflow in natural language and let AI generate it for you, or you can choose from the popular use cases available, or you can always build it on your own using the classic builder. The first step would be to click on Add to Workflow and click on Automation. We have to start off by mentioning our source, which is going to be Google Sheets, and I'm going to click on Select File, inside of which I'll be searching for my sample data customer feedback. I'm going to click on Done. Now here you can either import the entire tab, or in case you can, if you have multiple tabs, you can import individual ones or all of them. In case you want to import a specific range of data, you can always click on data range and specify the range you'd like to import. But once you're done here, just scroll down here and click on next step. Once you're here, you need to select the data processor. You're shown multiple options over here, and the one we're going to be selecting is process with AI. And inside of the prompt box, we're going to be pasting the following prompt that goes like: analyze the text in the customer feedback column and create a new column called sentiment and classify it as positive, negative or neutral. You can always select from the popular options available here. But once you're done, click on next step, where you now need to specify your destination, that is where your process data is going to be stored. So you can click on Google Sheets. You can either store the process data in a new file or select existing file. Click on select file. SheetGo automatically fetches the previous search that you made. You can select it, click on done, and it creates a new tab for you inside of your existing spreadsheet. Now once you're done here, you can click on review automation, where you can see how your automation is going to be flowing. You have your source, that's going to be the sample data customer feedback Google Sheet that contains the customer feedback that you'd like to perform a sentiment analysis on. After which you'll be processing your data with AI, and your data is going to be put back into the same Google spreadsheet. So I'm going to just click back. We'll click on review automation, and you can see everything looks good. And in case you want to change something, you can always click on edit step. But once you're done, click on finish and run. And in a couple of seconds, you'll see your processed data will be ready and good to go. And here you can see the workflow execution has finished successfully. You can either view your data inside of the SheetGo interface, or you can go back to your original spreadsheet, and you can see a new tab will be created known as SheetGo_feedback. You can click on it, and you can see it has successfully added a new sentiment column, and it has successfully classified each of the feedbacks into positive, negative and neutral. The next example that we're going to be working on is the student feedback one. So imagine your feedback is collected at the end of a course or semester, and you now want to handle the sentiment on the student comments. So this is my particular spreadsheet that has the course code, the instructor and the student feedback for that particular professor. So I have all of this here. So I would like to have a sentiment analysis performed on this particular data. And to do that, we're going to be heading back to SheetGo. I'm going to be clicking on new and clicking on blank workflow. And I'm going to be clicking on the use classic builder. Once we are here, you can click on add to workflow and click on automation. After which the first step would be to select your source. So it's going to be Google Sheets. I'm going to select my file and I'm going to be searching for my student feedback sheet. I'm going to select that, click on done. In this case, I'm going to be importing the entire tab. So I'm going to let this be and I'm going to click on next step. Now, once I'm here, I'm going to be clicking on process with AI. Now, inside of the prompt box, I'm going to be entering the prompt that goes like, read the text in the student comment column, create a new column called sentiment and classify it as positive, negative or neutral. Once I'm done, I'm going to click on next step. Now we have to once again specify the destination. So that's going to be Google Sheets. I'm going to click on existing file, click on select file. SheetGo automatically fetches my previous file. So I'm going to click on student feedback, click on done. And it creates a new tab for me. You can always rename that tab according to your requirements. And once you are done, click on review automation. You can see the flow of events, your source, the processing that's going to be happening, and the destination. So once you're done, click on finish and run. And in a couple of seconds, you should have your analyzed student feedback data. And here you can see the workflow execution has finished successfully. So I'm going to head back to my student feedback spreadsheet where I can see a new tab has been created and it has successfully added a new sentiment column where it has automatically assigned a particular sentiment to each of the student feedback that's given here. So the third and final use case that we're going to be working on is the automatic sentiment analysis on the anonymous employee feedback. So the HR department basically manages an anonymous digital suggestion box to get an honest pulse on employee morale. The good news is that employees are using it, but the bad news is the volume of feedback is high, so it's mixing up multiple suggestions with potentially urgent complaints. So now we're going to be using SheetGo to automatically tag each of the comments as positive, negative or neutral so that the HR team can take action quickly and more confidently. So I'm going to head back to SheetGo and we're going to be following the same steps. That's going to be clicking on new, clicking on blank workflow. Once we are here, we're going to be using the classic builder, clicking on add to workflow and clicking on automation. Once we are here, we can click on Google Sheets, click on select file, and I'm going to be searching for the anonymous employee suggestion box spreadsheet that we have here that has the submission ID followed by the employee comment. So once we are here, the spreadsheet's in, I'm going to click on next step. And once we are here, I'm going to be clicking on process with AI, and inside of the prompt box, I'm going to be putting the following prompt that goes like, analyze the employee comment column, create a new column called sentiment and classify it as positive, negative or neutral. And once we are done, I'm going to click on next step. Once again, the destination is going to be Google Sheets. I'm going to click on existing file, click select file, and SheetGo is going to be automatically bringing in the previous file. So I'm going to click on anonymous employee suggestion box, click on done. And once we are done, we can click on review automation. I can look at the flow once again. This is going to be my source. This is going to be the action, the processing part of it. And this is going to be my destination. So once we are done, I can click on finish and run. And in a couple of seconds, the employee feedback will be classified and analyzed perfectly. And here you can see the workflow execution has completed successfully, and we can head back to our spreadsheet where we can see a new tab has been created, and for each of the anonymous employee comments, a sentiment has been assigned to each of the comments where you can see this positive, negative, neutral, and you can see our workflow has successfully worked where HR can now monitor trends, flag negative feedback and take action more proactively. So that's how you can use SheetGo's AI data processor to automate sentiment analysis in Google Sheets, from customer feedback to student comments to even anonymous employee sentiment. It's simple. Connect your sheet, tell the AI what you want, and run it, and you get labeled data. I've linked the blog in the description where you can check out and read more about how this all works. Plus, you can get started with SheetGo with the link in the description. If you found this video helpful, then don't forget to like, share, and for more content, hit the subscribe button. I'll see you in the next one.